HD Nation! Zach Edwards here for another Tutorial Tuesday. This one we're going to be talking about characters and the importance that all characters play in this game. This is more of a strategy session like we did last week, and at the end I'm going to give you a challenge to give us some of your ideas of characters and how to use characters in the game. So, starting off, let's just say that you have two lands here. And you have two armies, one in each army. So there's different cards that you could play next. There are the weak cards, mostly going to be cultural, which are not for world domination. And you say, well, I'm going to play him, and I'm going to get the morale points, increase my morale, and then I'm going to discard him. Well, one big problem there. If you discard all your characters that give you morale, remember last week we talked about placing lands and then fortifying them with people, at least 3 per land. What if you had Highland Road's Rebels, gives you morale, and Frederick Douglass? Okay, so now you have 2 characters in there and 1 army. What would happen if my opponent attacks me? Well, if he attacks and wins, I would probably discard Frederick Douglass. Now he has a lower attack and defense than Highland Road's Rebels, and of course, a lot less than the army. So he's allowed to attack twice. He attacks again, Highland Road's Rebels would go away. But because I still have 1 card, 1 character or army still in that land, I keep that land. So say I have really strong people. I have Charlemagne, I have Geronimo, I already played all my armies. And again, I come to a 4th card, Susan B. Anthony. And I play Susan B. Anthony, but she gives morale, and then that's it. So she's fairly inexperienced, weak for a card. So she has a 40-60 attack and defense. So normally, a lot of people would take Susan B. Anthony and decide, you know what, I'm going to just get rid of her. Because she's really weak, she doesn't do anything after my morale. This is what we call fodder. These are cards or other things in life. These are cards that if someone attacks me, I would rather get rid of Susan B. Anthony than any one of these other 3 cards. Because these are really strong cards. I'd rather keep them around for a long time. So all of a sudden I'm attacked again. I can decide between Charlemagne or Geronimo. Which one do I want to discard? But if I discarded Susan B. Anthony, and I had only 3 cards in this land, I would have to have gotten rid of Geronimo or Charlemagne. And if he attacked again, I'd have to get rid of the second one. Because of this fodder, the weaker card, keeping that card in that land, I'm able to get rid of that instead of one of my stronger cards. So this is a strategy that a lot of people didn't understand when they start playing the game, or most people don't understand when they start playing the game. But as they start playing, and people start taking away their cards, like, I don't like how this is going. I want those cards, and they get upset. The thing is, if they had kept their Susan B. Anthony, or their Highland Road's Rebels, or their Frederick Douglass in that land, making 4 cards in that land, they would have lost Frederick Douglass, of course, and they would have only lost 1 of their strong characters. So, if you don't get anything else from this, remember that characters are so important that there's almost no card that's worth discarding. Now, there are some characters, I will mention some of them. Hitler. Oh, I don't remember his name. But he was the story of Dracula, where Dracula came from. Some of these conquerors will actually decrease your morale, as well as be really strong militarily. So you can use them for military, but they're going to decrease your morale. So some people will say, oh, I'm just going to get rid of those cards. Well, for one thing, if you're customizing your deck, get rid of those cards from the start. Find cards to replace them. But if you're just playing with a stock deck, and you have that card there, and your opponent's coming after you, one right after another, it might be worth it to play Hitler. And when they attack, there you go. You got rid of him. He's what's called, again, fodder. It takes the place of one of the cards that would have been discarded if I hadn't placed that fodder card in there to defend it. So, for all the experts, all those that play this game constantly and know the rules so well, come in, please, put your comments in the comments below of ideas that you have when it comes to characters and your strategies that you have. Yes, you are sharing them with other players, but by you sharing them, other people will be willing to share their strategies, and you can learn. Maybe you don't have to give them the best strategies, but if you would, please do, because we're all learning together and being able to play this game. So stay tuned for another Tutorial Tuesday coming up next week. This one, I'm going to do the American Revolution. I want to show you the American Revolution game because it's coming out. If it's not out today, it'll be out in the next few days. Sorry, if it doesn't arrive. So I'm going to show you the American Revolution game, and also stick around for our Game Design Wednesday, because today, that day, tomorrow, we're going to be talking about the Parker Brothers and how they created their games and where they came from, because they have an interesting story. Their past story, you wouldn't imagine someone that was so successful having this hard of a life. But the Parker Brothers did, and they stuck together as a family. The brothers, at least. And you'll know what I mean tomorrow in a Game Design Wednesday. And if I don't mention the whole story, you got to get on the course, because you're going to want to hear their story. We just talked about Milton Bradley last week. You're going to want to learn this. So thanks again for joining us. We'll catch you next time on a Tutorial Tuesday. Take care, guys. Bye. If you have any comments or questions, add them to the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow, actually. Take care. Bye.